Hey everyone, welcome back. It is good to have you here. Today, we are cutting straight through the noise to tackle a subject that frustrates the vast majority of men at some point in their lives. We are going to discuss how to shift a dynamic from strictly platonic to sexually charged without making things awkward, without ruining the friendship, and, most importantly, doing it fast. I'm talking about how to turn on a female friend in under 3 minutes flat. Now, before you assume this is some cheap parlor trick, listen closely. This isn't magic. It is evolutionary biology and neurochemistry. If you are currently stuck in the friend zone, it is not because you aren't attractive enough or because she doesn't see you that way. It is simply because you are fundamentally misunderstanding how female arousal works in the brain. We have a lot of ground to cover today. We are going to break down the psychology of the friend zone, why comfort is actually the enemy of arousal, and then I am going to walk you through a precise second-by-second protocol to flip that switch. So, turn off your phone, get focused, and let's get to work. First, we have to diagnose the problem. You need to understand why you are just a friend right now. You are a friend because you are safe. You are predictable. In her brain, you have been categorized into the same neurological box as her brother or her cousin. The dominant hormone in your relationship right now is oxytocin. Oxytocin is the bonding hormone. It makes her feel warm, fuzzy, and secure. But here is the hard truth that most men ignore. Oxytocin kills sexual tension. Sexual desire, or that spark of arousal, is driven by two completely different chemicals, dopamine and norepinephrine. Dopamine is the chemical of wanting, of craving, of anticipation. Norepinephrine is the chemical of adrenaline, of slight stress, of excitement. You cannot bore a woman into sleeping with you, and you cannot nice your way into her bed. To turn her on, you have to stop triggering oxytocin and start triggering dopamine. You have to move from being safe and predictable to being uncertain and exciting. The method we are discussing today is designed to create a pattern interrupt. It crashes the friendship program running in her brain and forces her to see you as a sexual threat, and I mean threat in the most positive, primal sense of the word. Before you can execute this 3-minute protocol, you need the right environment. You can't do this while she's crying about her boss, and you can't do it in a loud, crowded food court under fluorescent lights. You need what I call the zero state. This is a moment of calm. Maybe you're sitting on a couch, maybe you're at a quiet bar having a drink, or just hanging out at her place. The vibe is neutral. She's relaxed. Her guard is down because she thinks you're just a friend. This is your advantage. Because her guard is down, she is vulnerable to a sudden shift in energy. Once you have that environment, we enter the first 60 seconds. This first minute is entirely about nonverbal communication. In a typical friendship, conversation is continuous. You talk, she talks, you laugh. It's a consistent rhythm. Your goal right now is to break that rhythm. Here is exactly what you do. Wait for a natural lull in the conversation. Usually, when the talking stops, you instinctively look away or check your phone to avoid the silence. Do not do that. Instead, stop talking and hold your gaze on her. This is where you use the triangular gaze. You look at her left eye, then her right eye, then drop your gaze down to her lips for a full second, and then back up to her eyes. It is critical that you do not smile during this. A smile says, I am friendly and harmless. A neutral, intense face says, I am evaluating you. By looking at her lips, you are sending a subliminal signal to her brain that you are thinking about her mouth. You aren't saying a word, but her mirror neurons will pick up on it instantly. She might ask, what? Is there something on my face? Or she might giggle nervously. If she gets nervous, that is a win. You have successfully introduced tension. You have moved from the friend box to the unknown box. Moving into the second minute, now that you've broken the verbal flow, you must break the physical barrier. Friends have a bubble. It's about 18 inches of personal space. Lovers have a bubble of 0 to 6 inches. You need to collapse that distance immediately, but you need to anchor it with touch. This isn't a hey buddy pat on the back. This needs to be a masculine, grounding touch. Reach out and touch her in a place that is intimate, but socially acceptable. The back of the neck, right where the hairline ends, is incredibly powerful because it is a vulnerability point. Alternatively, place your hand firmly on her tricep, but on the inside of the arm, not the outside. As you touch her, lean in. Close the distance by 90%. The key variable here is your vocal tonality. When we talk to friends, our pitch goes up. We seek approval. We say things like, hey, how are you? With an upward inflection. When a man talks to a woman he desires, his voice drops. It becomes resonant. Lean in close to her ear and lower your volume. Force her to lean in to hear you. Now you are sharing a secret space. The air pressure between you two has literally changed, and her heart rate will begin to mimic yours. This brings us to the third minute. You have the look and you have the touch. Now you must verbalize the tension. Most guys mess this up by confessing feelings. They say, I really like you. Do not do that. That kills the mystery and puts pressure on her to make a decision. Instead, state an observation. You want to label the sexual tension as if it is an external force that is happening to both of you. You look her in the eyes, you're close, you're holding that touch, and you say something like, you have no idea the trouble I'm having behaving myself right now. Or simply, the way you're looking at me is dangerous. Notice what this does. You aren't asking for permission. You are stating a fact. You are framing the interaction as sexual. You are implying that she is the one causing the tension. This gives her plausible deniability. She doesn't have to say, I like you too. She just has to exist in the moment. At this point, you might go for a hair sweep, gently brushing her hair behind her ear. This is a universal grooming behavior. If she lets you touch her face and neck while you are looking at her lips, the friendship dynamic is effectively over. Now here is the part that makes this work long-term, effectively turning this from creepy to addictive. Once you hit that peak of tension in the third minute, once you see her pupils dilate, her breath catch, maybe she bites her lip, you must pull back. Lean back in your seat, let go of her arm, take a sip of your drink, return your voice to a normal volume. Why? Because constant tension is exhausting, but intermittent tension is addictive. By pulling back, you create a vacuum. You gave her a spike of dopamine, and then you took it away. Her brain will immediately scream, wait, come back, why did he stop? That question is the seed of obsession. You are showing her that you are in control of your desires. You are dangerous enough to be exciting, but disciplined enough to be safe. We also need to be real about calibration. You have to read the room. If you do this and she gives you a soft no, meaning she giggles, looks down, or playfully hits your arm, keep going. That is just her processing the change. But if you get a hard no, she stiffens up, physically pulls away, or looks genuinely scared, you eject. You immediately return to the zero state. You say, anyway, tell me the rest of that story you were saying. You act as if nothing happened. This saves the friendship. But 9 times out of 10, if you have built the foundation correctly, she isn't going to pull away. She's going to wonder why you didn't do this sooner. The bottom line is that turning on a female friend isn't about a specific line you memorize. It's about a shift in identity. You are taking off the mask of the safe friend and revealing the man underneath. Execute the silence. Close the gap. Drop the voice. And watch the dynamic change forever. That's it for today. If you got value from this, you know what to do. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.